And what do you think of this Jake Paul fella?
I always say that if Jake Paul was not a YouTube star, if people just looked at him like an up-and-coming boxer, you would say this kid's got a lot of talent. Right. He's dangerous. He's dangerous. I think his strength is that people, for whatever stupid reasons, they underestimate him because of what his background was.
Right.
And they think there's no way that some guy who became famous off of YouTube is going to be an actual legit boxer. Right. But if you look at what he's done, the time that he's put into it, and the ability that he has, just the sheer ability, he's a very good boxer.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, and he seems to treat his body the right way too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trains hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched a lot of his training footage. I've watched all of his fights. He can fight.
What do you think of the thing with Mike though?
58 is 58.
Yeah.
No matter what. No matter what you're taking and what they're doing for you, and you're still 58. Yeah. But 58-year-old Mike Tyson is not 50-year-old Mike Jones that lives down the street. It's a different kind of human being, and he still can knock your head into another dimension if he can catch you.
Yeah.
The thing is, can he catch a 28-year-old guy who's at the top of his career, who's winning legitimate boxing matches? I mean, he's beating former UFC world champions like Tyron Woodley. You know, he had that very good fight with Tommy Fury, who's a legitimate boxer, you know, which was a very good fight. You know, he just beat up Mike Perry, who's a bare-knuckle champion. I mean, he's a real fighter. He can fight. He can, and if Mike Tyson and him are fighting and Mike can't catch him, and Mike has bad knees, if his back's bad. I mean, I don't know what's going on with him physically. Mm-hmm. It's hard to tell from a guy just hitting pads. When he's hitting those pads, he looks great.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if he can do that, if he can actually do that for 8 rounds or 10 rounds, however long this fight is.
Well, that's going to be the key, isn't it?
Can he do that? I don't know if he can do that. I mean, he had to pull out of the first fight because he had an ulcer.
Right.
So it's, you know.
The thing is, I was quite enjoying the second phase of Mike's life. You know what I mean? You know, he was terrifying as a boxer.
Yeah.
Terrifying, you know. Even when I met him at one point backstage at the stadium at a fight, and I was like, I'm still terrified of you from watching you, you know. But then that guy he started becoming, where he became more explorative and he was looking into what, you know, the meaning of life and, you know, having a smoke every now and then and stuff like that, you know. I was like, I'm enjoying this, Mike.
Yeah.
You know, I'm liking the evolution. You know, what bothers me with this whole thing is that he's got to kind of, you know, slide back to that warrior, you know, and I'm just not sure he needed to do it, you know.
Yeah. He's the reason why this table's so wide.
Why is that?
Because I was going to make the table more narrow and be closer to the guests. I had him on once when he was retired, and he was much heavier, and he was smoking a lot of weed, and he was contemplative and, you know, interesting and philosophical and just a fun guy to hang out with. And then I had him on again when he was about to fight Roy Jones Jr., and he had lost about 60 pounds.
Right.
He looked shredded. He had muscles bulging in his arms, and he was very intense.
Right.
It was like a completely different human being, and he was terrifying. Just being in the room was terrifying. And I said, you know what? This table needs to be a little wider.
I'm glad it wasn't only me.
Yeah, I just don't want to be that close to him. It scares me.
Right.
Like, I felt his energy. It was and even Jamie said it after he left. Jamie was like, that's a totally different person.
Right.
Because Jamie was here for the first one, the second one. It was just, he was so fired up that it was, he had reignited that thing inside of him that existed when he was the best in the world.
Yeah.
And that force that caused him to try to achieve greatness was back. And he was fit, and he was, you know, he was in the middle of training, and he was all in on this Roy Jones Jr. fight.
Yeah.
And now he's...
I just hope for the both of them that it transcends the sort of circus type atmosphere that's around it, you know?
Yeah.
That it's a legit fight and they both do well and nobody gets hurt.
That would be nice, but it's probably not going to happen. It's probably going to be one of two things. It's either going to be Jake Paul's going to find out that 58-year-old Mike Tyson is still a more... We're going to find out that 58-year-old men are 58-year-old men no matter what they look like.
Right.
And Jake Paul is a 28-year-old athlete in the prime of his life.
Yeah.
You know, it was a real...
I mean, if you just do it to yourself, right? Take you know, me at 60 versus me at 28.
Right.
Forget about it, man.
Yeah, it's different things.
All over.